Welcome back to Sports Showtime, everybody. We're now joined by KLSU Sports Director and, of course, our resident basketball analyst, Mr. Jason Tiplet, and, of course, Tiger TV's very own basketball analyst, Mr. Daniel Brown, on into the set. How you doing, guys?
Pretty good, pretty good.
All right, well, this season so far, this tournament has been the clear definition of what March Madness truly is. So many teams being upset. To you, who is the biggest surprise so far in this tournament?
Well, Hobie, I got to go with St. Mary's and Randy Bennett. They've been absolutely outstanding in this tournament. They played very well to get that win over Richmond and then really exploited Villanova on a defensive end. It really showed that Villanova has lack of size. The Samhan, Dan Lowe has been unstoppable for them in their first two games. He's averaging 30 points and over 9 rebounds so far in the tournament. I see him having the same type of success against Baylor. They have good athletes down low, but they're mostly guard-oriented, and Randy Bennett, Daniel, is really coaching her. I expect him to get a big job next year.
For me, Hobie, it has to be the Panthers from Northern Iowa. In all honesty, who in their right mind picked these guys to beat Kansas? I know I sure didn't, and I guess that's why I'm out of our office pool right now. The Panthers dominated the game from tip, and it just seemed that Kansas was shocked that they didn't roll over and just let the Jayhawks advance. If their guard, Ali Farouk-Manesh, gets off to a hot start like he did against Kansas, I can see them beating Michigan State, especially without Callum Lucas in the lineup for the Spartans.
And he said Farouk-Manesh correctly, which
that's
I can't do.
Points.
Yeah,
give
him some points.
That's bonus points right there. And Daniel, I really think that you're not the only one who's about to rip their bracket off of the wall in the office because I had Kansas winning it all. So Kansas, guys, was the first #1 seed to fall out of the field. Who do you see as the next one to? Who's the next one? Who's the next one to go down?
For how this tournament has played so far, I'd have to say Kentucky. The last two games Cornell has played, the other team was favored. And in both games, the other was soundly beaten by the Big Red. It wouldn't be a stretch to say that they can't do it again against the Wildcats. Now, Kentucky is a completely different animal compared to Temple and Wisconsin. They've dropped 100 in their first game and 90 in the second. So Cornell's defense is going to have to step up in a huge way if they look to get another upset against a tournament favorite and advance to the Elite Eight.
You know, Daniel, this could sound boring, but I have to go the same thing. I have to go Kentucky. This team has looked very dominant against their first two opponents. However, that's two teams they were supposed to dominate. They have not run up against a team as disciplined as Cornell or even West Virginia, getting a little ahead of ourselves. They play nothing but freshmen. They're susceptible to a loss. They're still going to struggle to shoot the three, and John Wall needs to be prevented from getting in the lane. Hobie, if you prevent Wall from getting in the lane, stop Cousins and Patterson, and it's easier said than done, but it can be done. Make them shoot the three. They can be beat.
Yeah. Now, you just mentioned John Wall. John Wall has been a big-time X factor for Kentucky all season long. Now, moving on to other X factors, certain players on certain teams, who do you think is going to be the biggest X factor going in through the rest of March?
Well, the biggest X factor is a guy who's not going to be there, and that's Callum Lucas, and how well Michigan State plays without that all-conference guard. This is a team that, in my opinion, would have been a favorite to come out the Midwest region if Lucas didn't get hurt. I had him beating Kansas with Lucas. However, with this injury, this region is up for grabs, up in the air, quite like George Clooney. For them to win, Corey Lucius, the man who stepped up and hit that huge shot right here, needs to play well. He's going to fill in for Lucas. If he plays well, they can beat Northern Iowa and also beat Tennessee or Ohio State.
Jason, you talk about the subtraction of Lucas. I talk about the addition of Arinze Onuaku. The only reason I didn't have them in my Final Four was because of his knee. With Onuaku potentially coming back for the Butler game, this team could reach Indianapolis with ease. A lot of people felt Syracuse should have gotten a higher seed, but this injury seemed to factor in the tournament committee's decision to give them a 4th overall seed. This team already has shown what they can do without him so far in the tourney. With him back in, Syracuse is way more dangerous, and everybody better watch out if they already aren't.
And I still like Syracuse too. I wish I had an orange to give you.
And I'm hungry today. I'm hungry today.
But I gave it all to the production staff, so maybe next time if the Syracuse advances, I'll have some oranges.
That's horrible. That's horrible. Well, thank you very much, guys. If your bracket is basically trashed, you just got a new way to start a clean slate with these guys. They gave you some good information. But